The relegation fight in the Championship is hot to bloody trot. That's right, following on from Luton's massive win at Derby County. What is next on the agenda this weekend? We're going to take a little look next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video. Today is all about match number 44, that's right, in the Championship, and we'll get to it in a second. Of course, if you're new, where you've been, smash your subscribe button, your one-stop shop for Blackburn Rovers, Championship football. Whoa, football, we're going to all hear under our Ruski. That's right, Burnley doing the business at the top of the table, and of course, Luton Town doing the business at the bottom end. That's right, but what will go on this weekend, as it could all change at the tip and the top and the bottom this coming Easter Monday. We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. What we're going to do now, though, is revisit those games and then, of course, kick on forward to next weekend's drama. So sit tight, hold on, let's get into it then, shall we? Recap of the results, and they're on the screen right about now. Look at it. It is Derby 0, Luton Town 1. Monumental result for the Hatters. I did go with a draw. Meanwhile, Rovers did pick up a 4-1 win. I said 4-1 win over Millwall. I went with a 2-0 win myself. Ain't too shabby. Bristol City did the business over Sunderland. 2-1. I went with a 2-0 win. Coventry did the business over West Brom. 2-0. I went with a draw. Borough did beat Plymouth 2-1 lastminute.com penalty. I went with a 3-1 win. Burnley did beat Watford 2-1. I went with a 2-0 win. Portsmouth, look at that. 8-goal thriller, 5-3 over Norwich at Carrow Road. I went the other way. QPR with a 2-1 away win against Preston. Monumental result for them. Stoke also continue their good form at the moment. 2-0 winners over Sheffield Wednesday. Swansea did beat Hull 1-0. Sheffield United did beat Cardiff 2-0. I am recording this ahead of Oxford against Leeds, but I would anticipate. I haven't actually went with a draw on this one, which might put the cat amongst the pigeons, but that is what I think was going on. Alright, folks, it's on the table as of right here, right now. That does not include the Leeds match against Oxford, so bear that in mind. So it might change a little bit between now and when this video goes out. But it'll pretty much be as you were. Burnley and Leeds will be there. It's just a matter of who will be top and etc, etc. Anyway, of course, Sheffield United are in the playoffs right now. Sunderland, of course, falling off a bit of a cliff at the moment with their form. Bristol City well and truly in it, as are Coventry. Middlesbrough potentially the only team that realistically has an outside sniff of getting into that top six. Going down, though, it is still tight. 3 points separate going down and safety right now. Derby just ahead above water. But 3 massive games right around the corner. So this is as it stands here. Of course, we're going to look forward to my next round of games just a second. This is where I would give you an update on the Super Brew, but we're not doing that because the games are coming too fast, and there's also one still out there. So we're going to roll into the next round of games, and these are those, of course. Pretty much all matches kick off at the same time this week, so except for the Burnley Sheffield United game, that gets a time on its own. So let's kick it all off as a trip to Wales then, shall we? Cardiff and Omaritza, who sit 23rd right now, 42 points for the season. They're in action right here, right now against Leeds. If they do get a result there, who bloody knows what's going to go on at the top and the bottom. Anyway, Cardiff are winners in the last 5 matches up against Oxford under Gary Rowett, who've won 3 and lost 3 over the last 6. They look like they're going to come back next season. They sit 19th right now, 48 points for the season. They played Cardiff 3 times in 2011. We have 2 wins Cardiff, 1 with Oxford. There's been no draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played, in fact, they haven't played in a long time at Wales, and that's stretching all the way back to 2011. But anyway, the reverse fixture this season at the Kazam, it was a 3-2 win for Oxford back on Boxing Day. Of course, Oxford are in action right here, right now. Bookies odds for this one, as we look at it, Cardiff expected to get the win over Oxford. So maybe there's going to be fight left in the Welsh lads' tanks. I've gone with a 2-1 win as well, going with the bookies, and maybe going with the home former on this ahead of an Oxford side who can be good and bad depending on what goes on around them. Meanwhile, Hull City up against Preston at the MKM Stadium. Hull under Ruben Sellers are 20th right now, 45 points for the season. What are we looking at? Just 1 win in the last 6 for Hull up against Preston. Paul Heckenbottom. They actually winless in the last 5. Actually winless in the last 6. They sit 17th right now with 49 points for the campaign. Now, they've played 24 times these two clubs since 2005. 9 wins Hull, 10 wins Preston, 5 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played at the MKM, it was a 1-0 win for Hull way back in October 2023. The reverse fixture at Deepdale, also a 1-0 win, this time for Preston back on Boxing Day. Preston on the back of that 2-1 loss to QPR at home. Hull on the back of that 1-0 loss to Swansea, of course. Again, not the greatest form for Hull when you look at it. Their only win being away at Sheffield Wednesday. The odds right here, right now. Hull City are fancied for the W here. It could go either way. I've gone with the Hull win, but of course that could change as well. So I've gone with the 1-0 win for the Tigers. What do you think? Let me know down below. Leeds United up against Stoke, coming to at Ellen Road, of course, where Leeds, as of right now, and probably at the end of this match here against Oxford. Is it Oxford? Yeah, it's Oxford. They will be top 2. That's right. No matter what, they're unbeaten in at least the last 6 matches. Anyway, up against Stoke and Mark Robbins, who are unbeaten in the last 5. They sit 16th right now, 50 points for the season. They played Leeds 14 times, 2004, 7 wins Leeds, 5 wins Stoke, 2 draws between the two sides. And the last time they played at Leeds, it was a 1-0 win for Daniel Farke's boys back in March 2024. The reverse fixture at Stoke, also a 2-0 win for Leeds to make it back-to-back clean sheets against them. Stoke, though, on the back of a 2-0 win over Sheffield Wednesday, back-to-back clean sheets themselves. Leeds, prior to today, took on Preston and they won last time around. The odds, the Leeds are fancied by the bookies and they're fancied by me as well. 3-0 win, comfortably done to keep themselves in that top 2 discussion. Next up, Luton Town against Bristol City has got ramifications at the top and the bottom. Luton under Matt Bloomfield, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They sit 22nd right now, 43 points for the season. Up against Bristol City and Liam Manning, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They sit 5th with 67 points. They played 20 times since 1993. 9 wins Luton, 6 wins Bristol City. There's been 5 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played at Kenilworth Road, it was a 1-0 win for Luton. In fact, the last 2 they played at Kenilworth Road, it's been back-to-back Luton Town victories. Luton Town on the back of that 1-0 win over Derby at Pride Park. Bristol City 2-1 winners over Sunderland most recently. There, of course, last away match was a draw at QPR. Bookies will give it to Luton. It could be a draw. I've gone with a 2-1 win though. Hatters need it. Do they need it more than Bristol City? I don't know. We'll see. Meanwhile, Millwall taking on Norwich, of course, coming at the Den. We saw Millwall in action against Rovers. They did look good in spurts, but when, of course, the goalkeeper situation didn't help themselves. Anyway, they're coming into this winning 4 and losing 2 of the last 6. They sit 9th right now, 60 points for the campaign up against Norwich. And Jonas Torup just 1 win in the last 6 as the Canaries try to whimper out of this season, just get the season over with. 53 points for the season. They played Millwall 27 times since 1995. It is the Alex Neil derby. 6 wins Millwall, 14 wins Norwich. There's been 7 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played at Millwall, it was a 1-0 win for the Lions back on December 2023. The reverse fixture at Carrow Road, also December 2024 this time. It was a 2-1 win for Norwich way back when. Norwich on the back of that 8-goal thriller, losing to Portsmouth 5-3. Millwall on the back of that 4-1 loss themselves to Blackburn most recently. The odds right here, right now, Millwall just about edge it in the bookie stakes, gone with the 1-0 win as well, as they do. And of course, the dream is still on for Millwall heading into the back end of the last, 2 games, 6 points on the offering. We'll see what goes on. Meanwhile, Plymouth up against Coventry. This is it. If Plymouth win, they'll eliminate a lot of us. Coming at you up against Murray Music's boys. They are rock bottom, 24 points for the season. They need a win to Plymouth. All is on the line here. 2 wins the last 4 matches up against Coventry, who are unbeaten in the last 3. They sit 6th right now, 66 points. They played Plymouth 18 times in 2004. 7 wins Plymouth, 8 wins Coventry. There's been 3 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played over at Plymouth, it was a 2-2 draw back in February 2024. I don't think a draw is going to be good enough for Plymouth. Coventry did beat Plymouth through the reverse fixture at the RCA Stadium back on Boxing Day. Plymouth also losing to Borough there, but it's actually been back-to-back wins for Plymouth at home, so they're looking for a three-peat. Can they do it? Coventry's last away match also ended at all square against Hull City. The bookies' odds on this one, they'll go with Coventry. I've gone with a draw here, which I don't know what that does for everybody or anybody. I think it's actually more harm than good for Plymouth. Coventry will still be in a good position in that top 6. Meanwhile, Portsmouth up against Watford at Fratton Park. That's right, John Mousinho's boys are 18th right now, 49 points for the season, back-to-back games without a loss. Up against Watford and Tom Cleverley, just 1 win in the last 6. They sit 12th, 56 points for the season. They played Pompey 22 times since 1993. 8 wins Portsmouth, 11 wins Watford, and there's been 3 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at Fratton Park, it was a 2-0 win for Portsmouth way back in January 2012. Goodness gracious me. The reverse fixture at Vicarage Road, it was a 2-1 win for Watford back on Boxing Day. Watford on the back of that 2-1 loss against Burnley at home. Their last away match also resulted in a 2-1 loss as well. Portsmouth, though, at home last match was a 2-2 draw against Derby. It is a good stomping ground for Pompey, so this could be a return to form here. Bookies also see that. They do back Portsmouth for the victory. I'm also backing Mousinho's boys with a 2-0 win to end Watford's dreams of anything. and boost Portsmouth strong into the campaign. Meanwhile, QPR taking on Swansea, coming at Loftus Road. That's why Kofi Entis' boys are 14th right now. And after a strong, sort of a terrible bit of form, they've now found a good bit of form. Just one defeat in the last 6. They're at 14th right now, 53 points for the season, up against Swansea, though, who are one of the form teams right now, winning 4 on the spin under Alan Shearer and sitting 11th right now, 57 points for the season. They played QPR 27 times since 2004. There's been 9 wins, 9 draws between these two sides. Of course, 9 wins apiece, should I say. Last time around over at Loftus Road, it was a 1-1 draw back in September 2023. The reverse fixture over at Wales, it was a 3-0 win for Swansea back on Boxing Day. The Swans on the back of 4 wins on the spin, 4 clean sheets on the spin, scoring 6 goals without return. Up against QPR on the back of that 2-1 win away to Preston. The last home match was a draw against Bristol City. The odds right here, right now, it is tight, very, very tight. Could be a draw. I've gone with a 2-1 win, the QPR, breaking the hearts of Swansea. Into the final 4 we go. It's Sheffield Wednesday up against Middlesbrough, coming at the Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday under Danny Roll, of course, could be coming to an end, that relationship. They're winless in the last 6 matches. They sit 15th right now, 53 points for the season, up against Borough under Michael Carrick. 2 wins, 2 defeats in the last 4. They still sit 7th, and they still got an outside sniff of those top 6 spots. They played 31 times since 1995. 10 wins Wednesday, 17 wins Borough. There's been 4 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played at Hillsborough, it was one of those 4 draws. It was a 1-1 draw back in September 2023. Meanwhile, the reverse fixture this season at the Riverside, also a draw, 3-3 thriller back on Boxing Day. Borough, though, on the back of that 2-1 win over Plymouth last time around. Wednesday losing to Stoke last time around. It's been, what are we looking at here? Back-to-back games without a goal for Wednesday. Back-to-back defeats as well. Grim stuff for Danny Roll's boys. The bookies are backing Borough to win on the road. Gone with a 1-1 draw myself on this one. Again, puts a bit of a damp squib on Borough's playoff dreams. Meanwhile, Sunderland, limping Sunderland, just trying to get through to those playoffs. They're confirmed. They can't, I don't think they can get in the automatics. They don't think they can drop out of the playoffs. And I think they're comfortably in 4th space. Up against Rovers, who tried to just end the season strongly under Big Val, coming at the Stadium of Light. Now, Sunderland under Reggie Labrie, they actually win this in the last 3. They sit 4th right now, 76 points for the season. They're on 42% form for them right now, as are Rovers on 42% form, but they're unbeaten in the last 3, including back-to-back wins. That's right. They sit 10th right now, 59 points for the season. They played Sunderland 28 times since 1997. 9 wins for Sunderland, 10 wins for Rovers. It's been 9 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played at the Stadium of Light, we won 5-1. That's right. 5 bloody 1. The reverse fixture this season at Ewood, 2-2 draw. It was on Boxing Day. It's actually been very even Stevens between these two sides. Actually, Rovers winning 3 of them, Sunderland winning 2 of them. Has been 1 draw. Rovers on the back of that 4-1 win over Millwall. Sunderland losing to Bristol City to make it back-to-back defeats. Winless in 3. So what will happen this time around? The bookies' odds on this one. Rovers have their tails up, but Sunderland still fancied, of course, quite heavily. Going with the 1-0 win, Rovers, because we look good at the moment. Tails are up. Confidence is trying to flow through our veins, and we're trying to just have a little bit of a flurry at the end of the season. Meanwhile, also a flurry needed at the Hawthorns. Tony Mowbray under a lot of pressure right now. Still mathematically in the mixer. 9 points available, but they need to be winning these games, and they need to be winning this one at the Hawthorns. Up against Derby under John Eustace. Do us a favour, Tony Mowbray. Send that sucker down. They played 23 times since 1993. 6 wins for the Baggies, 11 wins for Derby. There's been 6 draws between the two sides. Of course, West Brom much needed victory. Of course, Derby need a win as well. Derby winless in the last 4. They last played at the Hawthorns. It was a 0-0 draw back in September 2021. The reverse fixture at Pride Park. It was a 2-1 win for Derby back on Boxing Day. Derby, they're losing to Luton most recently. The last away match was a 2-2 draw at Portsmouth. The Baggies, though, last home match was a 2-1 win over Watford, but they're coming into this on the back of that 2-0 loss to Coventry. The odds for this one, West Brom fancied going with it as well. 2-1 win. It might be spicy, but a bit nervy, but of course a big win in the end. And then finally, here we go. Is this the game that seals the deal for Burnley? That's right. Burnley top the charts maybe heading into this up against Sheffield United, trying to get back into it. Must-win territory for Sheffield United. Now, they play at Turd Moor. They played 31 times in the past since 1994. 14 wins Burnley, 13 wins Sheffield United. It's just been 4 draws. Of course, Burnley are 91 points for the season. Sheffield United on 86 points for the season. There was a good 5-point gap, but a win for Sheffield United will close that to just 2 points, of course. Now, the last time that two sides played over at Turd Moor was a 5-0 win for Burnley back in December 2023. That was in the Premier League. The reverse fixture this season, 2-1 win for Burnley at Bromwich back on Boxing Day. In fact, Burnley won 4 on the spin against Sheffield United. They've got, 11 goals scored in those last 4. That's just averaging shy 3 goals a game. Sheffield United, though, on the back of that 2-0 win over Cardiff. Their last away match, though, was a 2-1 loss to Plymouth. Burnley on the back of that 2-1 win over Watford on the road. Bookies' odds will give it to Burnley. It might not be big, might not be impressive. I've gone with a 1-0 win for Burnley, and I think that will just about do it, guys. This is what I have it. It will be what are we doing here? We've got 2 games left. I think that's them promoted. Burnley are there. Not necessarily champions, but they'll be back in the Premier League, of course, and Sheffield United will have to somehow win the last 2. One of those games will be against Blackburn Rovers, of course, as this season comes to an end. But that is it, guys. That's what I've got. Make sure you give your thoughts and opinions about it down below. But until then, subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. Until then, we're done.